His UK big cats history. During our studies into the big cats roaming free around the UK, the main questions that we are always asked are: how did they get there? During the stylish 1960s and 70s, it was very fashionable and perfectly legal in the UK to keep exotic animals as household pets. These ranged from leopards, pumas, and panthers to crocodiles and poisonous snakes. Anybody could legally own and keep them as pets, take them out for walks, and keep them in the house without any kind of license or any special training. In 1976, the government introduced the Dangerous Wild Animals Act to protect the public and ensure the animals were looked after properly. When the bill came into force, exotic pet owners were only really faced with three choices: get a license and improve the facilities for looking after the animals, incurring great expense; give their pet to a zoo or authorized keeper of such animals; have their pet put down. Many owners gave their pets up to local zoos and wildlife parks, but with the amount of animals around, the zoos and other establishments couldn't cope with the numbers, so some were unfortunately put down. A minority of owners who couldn't stand to see their pet put down set them free to fend for themselves in the wild, and this is how the majority of big cats got into the UK countryside. Obviously, there is the possibility of zoo and circus escapees, but being released from captivity is the most recognized source for most of the big cats roaming the UK. Due to a loophole in the law, it was not illegal until 1981 to release a big cat into the UK countryside. So many owners, despite introducing a new non-native species, didn't actually break the law, which does sound silly, but the law was slack. It still is in some ways. A legal owner of a big cat in the UK does not by law have to inform anyone if one of their animals escapes or dies, nor do they have to inform the authorities if they breed in captivity, so the exact number of big cats in this country is very hard to say. How can they survive? Quite easily is the answer. People always say, how can they live in our climate? Well, they were living in cages in people's gardens before they were released, so they were already prepared for the weather. As for food, when hungry, a big cat's natural hunting instinct would soon return, and as it has so often been reported, sheep and many other livestock have been preyed upon. There are also plenty of deer, rabbits, and other natural inhabitants in abundance in the UK for them to prey upon. Remember, we are not talking about thousands and thousands of animals that are out there. The exact number may never be known, but there is plenty of food to sustain a small population of big cats in the United Kingdom. Are they dangerous? Reports of attacks by wild big cats are very rare in the UK, the most publicised one being on Saturday, August 26, 2000, when 11-year-old Josh Hopkins was clawed across the face in Trelech, South Wales. Josh was attacked after he went to pet the cat, believing it to be his pet cat Sylvester. The cat was never found despite a huge search, so it is really difficult to say whether it was a big cat or not. In London, a female European lynx was caught in Cricklewood, North London on Friday the 4th of May 2001 after being spotted in a back garden. The lynx, which was injured, was taken to London Zoo and is almost definitely a recently escaped pet that will never be claimed or confirmed as such, as the owner may not have had a license to keep it and so will never come forward. How come they aren't seen more often? Big cat sightings in the UK do occur, sometimes in regular batches, other times they are quite rare. These cats had been kept in captivity against their will, and once granted freedom, it is our belief that they obviously do not want to be caged up again, and so whenever they sense our presence, they disappear off in the other direction. This is a natural survival instinct, and as we are not talking about a huge population of wild big cats, the chances of them being seen are not that great to begin with. www.ukbigcats.co.uk UK big cats, other evidence. One of the main arguments that we hear from people for the non-existence of big cats in the UK is the lack of evidence. We have some photos and video evidence that is always shot from a distance, but that never seems to be conclusive enough. Over the years, there have been cats killed. 1989, in Shropshire, a jungle cat was fatally injured in a road crash. 1988, in Devon a leopard cat was shot. 1988, in Hampshire a swamp cat was killed crossing a road. 1987, on the Isle of Wight a leopard cat was shot. But the fact that these cats were killed, photographed, examined and recorded is still not proof to most people, as they are not aware of it ever happening. There are clues left by the cats to show they are there, but you would have to look very carefully to spot them. There will be tracks left when they are out hunting, evidence of their kills will remain as they don't eat the skeletons. There will also be hair samples and droppings left as they walk around the fields and through hedges. But in order to find evidence we have to look for it. Most people don't even think about it when they are out and about, so it will easily get missed. Another clue that the cats leave is scratch marks on trees where they have been sharpening their claws on the bark, about 4 or 5 feet up the trunk from ground level, and you may see 5 or 6 inches of scratch marks close together. A common argument is the fact that there are no big cat corpses found. As these animals can only live so long, how come their corpses are not being found? Well, the honest answer is I don't know. We regularly go out for hours in remote areas of East Anglia looking for our black panther. We know that there are hundreds of deer in the area. We have seen big herds of them in the winter. We see masses of tracks, yet have never seen one deer corpse. They must be out there somewhere. It is just fate, I suppose, that they haven't been found yet, but given time I have no doubt they will be found. But we are only talking about a small number of cats in the UK, so it's like the old needle in a haystack. The more we and other groups around the UK keep up our research and keep going out to search known hotspots, one day we will find what we are looking for. It is just a matter of time, some luck and a lot of patience. UK big cats, beast of Exmoor. As reports of large cats in the wake of the 1976 Exotic Pets Act gathered speed with sightings of beasts in Surrey and Bodmin, by the late 70s Exmoor too had its resident. From the county that gave the world R.D. Blackmore's Lorna Doone comes a creature from the world's exclusive zoo known as the Beast of Exmoor. Not so difficult to believe as you enter the rolling wooded hills of the national park for any creature, however large, to remain anonymous within these confines, let alone a mammal whose mere countenance would fill many with fear and dread. The descriptions are standard. A large cat-like animal with a long tail standing low to the ground with dark grey to black fur, sized roughly between 4 to 6 feet in length. There have however been small percentages that claim the creature to be of a brownish hue. Dark green eyes, claimed one report of a large black creature that ran across a road in front of a car. This elusive creature, which is still sighted to this day, was given its name back in 1983 after reports of a panther-type creature killing livestock started to gather momentum. An estimate of 80 sheep slaughtered that year, together with the baffling tracks and marks left, only helped to fuel the legend. This is in deep contrast to some researcher belief that witnesses are misidentifying known creatures such as domestic cats that would prefer to eat something served to them from a tin.